Admiral Dhowan. He's also somebody whom you all will be knowing. He had come previously also twice in our show, and he had talked extensively on blue economy. He's so emotionally bound to blue economy and the way it can do, the way it can really contribute to national growth, and many things which he says are really good, and they are being implemented. And here again, since you are from the government side, it's a government which listens. Whatever is said is going forward. That's what people say, and people feel it is something good. So I would like to invite Admiral Dhowan, and he doesn't need any big introduction. He was the ex-chief of Navy, and a person who was devoted, like General Singh, in terms of its utility for national growth. And last 4 years after retirement, he is putting his full time for the same purpose. Admiral Dhowan, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sekar. Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways, General V.K. Singh Sir, Dr. Sekar, Akram Haq, eminent panelists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a distinct honor for me to be present here for the 100th web series and to share my thoughts with all of you on sustainable development in the maritime domain and the maritime sector for nation building. As you're all aware, India is essentially a maritime nation with a natural outflow towards the seas. And over the past few years, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, there have been a series of initiatives for sustainable development in the maritime domain, including the quest to harness the blue economy. The concept of the blue economy has emerged as a new paradigm, and I would like to define harnessing the blue economy as the economic development of all our maritime interests by optimal utilization of resources with minimum impact on the environment to ensure sustainable development of the oceans. As Dr. Sekar had requested, I will now highlight some of the recommendations and initiatives in the maritime sector in order to revive the economy as well as contribute towards nation building in the post-pandemic era. As a maritime nation, we have tremendous potential to harness the blue economy. We therefore need to chart out a national level blue economy action plan for sustainable development of our maritime resources and interests, as well as our ocean resources. During the recently concluded Maritime Summit, the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, had recommended that we need to avoid working in silos in the maritime sector. Taking on from the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, we need to have and adapt and adopt a coordinated approach and have an apex level organization for coordination and integration of the planning processes of various agencies which operate in the maritime domain for the economic development of all our maritime interests and to monitor the blue economy initiatives. Sagarmala is the flagship project of the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, which is a port-led development initiative based on 4 pillars of port modernization, connectivity, port-led industrialization, and coastal community development. However, we need to incorporate the marine spatial planning as part of the development of our ports and harbors, our coastal areas, and the exclusive economic zone, so that we can map the entire area effectively and in a systematic manner, and avoid and prevent the development of offshore ocean slums. This would also ensure that our ports and harbors are developed in an efficient manner and also increase their port handling capacity to contribute towards the nation's economy. The Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways has taken series of initiatives to support the shipbuilding, the ship recycling, and the ship repair industry. However, there is a mismatch between flag and trade. While over 90% of India's trade by volume and 77% by value transits by sea, only 7% is carried on Indian hulls. And we pay nearly 50 billion US dollars every year to foreign companies on account of freight. We therefore need to draw up a national shipbuilding plan by taking into account the loading as well as the capability of all the indigenous shipyards. Ships need to be planned for construction in different categories, in different tonnages based on our requirement in the very large crude carriers, the container ships, the cargo vessels, the coastal shipping vessels, the vessels required for inland waterways, and also deep sea fishing trawlers. This would ensure that these ships are also built in accordance with the Energy Efficiency Design Index, which has been approved by the IMO, and these ships should be propelled with environmentally friendly fuel of the future. This would certainly open up the entire industrial aspect and the capacity in the shipbuilding, ship recycling, and the ship repair industry, and also provide job opportunities and employment opportunities in the sector and revive the economy of this sector as well. India has a thriving fishing industry, and we are about the second largest fish producing nation in the world. However, this is only scratching the surface because 90% of fishing in Indian waters is restricted to our coastal areas. And there is hardly any deep sea fishing in our waters. And it is said that fish in deep Indian waters are actually dying of old age. The government has promulgated the National Fisheries Policy, and now it should be our endeavor to focus in the areas of deep sea fishing and sustainable fishing. We need to introduce deep sea fishing trawlers. We need to have production and processing platforms. We need to have processing areas around our coastal region so that we can also have the coastal community development of the entire population of the fishing community, around 14 million or so. This will not only give job opportunities, it will enhance our fisheries export and revive this very vital sector as far as the economy is concerned. India has over 1,300 islands and islets as part of the Andaman and Nicobar Group in the Bay of Bengal and the Lakshadweep Group in the Arabian Sea and islands off the west and east coast of India. The government has promulgated a comprehensive island development plan taking into account aspects of security, the economic sustenance, environment preservation, and coastal, the cultural as well as the social sustenance. What we need to focus on is the development of greenfield infrastructure projects with minimum carbon footprint for cruise tourism, for marine tourism, and also for controlled ecotourism. Development of port infrastructure in the islands, particularly in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, will open up connectivity and also coastal trade with our littoral neighbors in the Bay of Bengal, which is, as you're aware, one of the largest bay in the world, and we have 7 countries located on the rim of the bay. So this will certainly open up avenues, not only for cooperation, but avenues for trade, for cruise tourism and marine tourism, and also have the sector growing up and looking up economically. In order to fully implement the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region, we need to draw up a comprehensive maritime cooperation roadmap with a whole of government approach for maritime cooperation in different avenues with the countries of the region. We should also look at working together to evolve a rules-based international order to ensure safety, security, as well as shaping a favorable and positive environment across the entire Indo-Pacific region. We could also look at linking up the concept of Sagar and Sagarmala and provide assistance in development of ports and harbors for our littoral neighbors, and thereby further enhancing the area for having bilateral trade with these countries by development of these ports and harbors, and the economy could further grow. With depletion of resources on land, humankind has turned towards the seas for resources, and India needs to focus on its offshore oil and gas exploration areas, as well as deep seabed mining areas, which have been allocated by the International Seabed Authority in Central Indian Ocean. However, while carrying out development for exploration, we need to be careful that we do not harm the ecology or the natural marine habitat, and it should have a minimum impact on the environment. As far as renewable sources of ocean energy are concerned, we should concentrate in areas such as offshore wind and ocean thermal energy conversion, which could be used as a source for energy in our island areas, particularly in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, has launched a dynamic initiative of Swachh Bharat or Clean India. We need to extend that initiative to Swachh Sagar. India could take the lead along with other countries in the region to ensure clean and healthy oceans for our future generations. We can therefore see that we have an ocean of opportunities for harnessing the blue economy. The challenge, however, is to ensure that we do this with minimum impact on the environment and thereby carrying out the sustainable development of the oceans. The seas around us are gaining newfound importance as each day goes by, and I have no doubt that the current century is the century of the seas. India has vast maritime interests, which are enablers of our blue economy and also have a direct and a vital relationship with the nation's economic growth. Therefore, all aspects of India's maritime interests need to grow so as to revive the economy and also contribute towards nation building as India emerges as a resurgent maritime nation in the 21st century. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.